Hello everyone, and happy Earth Day 2020. This year marks the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and the theme is climate change. This year, more than any other year, there is clear evidence that we are part of a global society, which is why we selected to explore the United Nations Climate Change Challenge Badge in recognition of this special day and anniversary. This Climate Change Challenge Badge was developed through a partnership between the United Nations agencies, WAGs, which is the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, and other organizations. Today's session is the first of a multi-week programmatic experience that will take us on a journey to learn all about climate change. We hope that you will join us each week as we explore this important topic. Throughout this journey, we will examine how climate is hugely important for life and well-being on Earth. From being able to enjoy nice weather and spending time outdoors, to depending on it for crops and food, we all rely on the planet's climate in a variety of ways. The Earth's natural laws and physical processes regulate climate in a way that makes it habitable and supportive of human, animal, and plant life. Thanks to this, we are able to stay healthy, enjoy beautiful landscapes, and have wondrous neighbors of animals, plants, insects, and other living organisms we can marvel at. However, our climate is changing, and this is largely because of us. While the Earth's climate has changed naturally over very long periods of time, humans are causing the climate to change through our intensive use of polluting energy sources, deforestation, and other interventions. We are already seeing the effects of climate change. Temperatures are rising, glaciers melting, and sea levels are rising. The changes include an increase in extreme weather events such as droughts, cyclones, and flooding, putting populations at risk, damaging agriculture and people's livelihoods, and threatening many plants and animal species with extinction. Our ecosystems are complex and interdependent. If one species disappears, many others could be affected. Climate change may cause all sorts of unexpected alterations and disruptions to this delicate balance. The good news is that there is a lot that can be done to tackle climate change. From changing daily habits to spreading awareness, every one of us has the power to make a difference. We hope this challenge badge will help you better understand why climate change matters and motivate you to take action and become positive drivers of change in your communities and within international arenas. To complete this program and be eligible for the badge, you will need to complete one compulsory activity and at least one additional activity from each of the 5 sections of this program. The program team will be working with you via different formats over the course of the next 5 weeks to complete this program. We have selected the compulsory and additional activities that we feel best fit our virtual platforms. You should, however, feel free to review the program materials on your own and create your own program if you so desire. Let's begin by learning the difference between weather and climate. Weather is fixed to a specific place and takes place within a fairly short time. For example, one day might be overcast and drizzly. Another day could be sunny with fluffy clouds. Rain, snow, wind, hurricanes, and tornadoes are all weather events. Weather scientists, called meteorologists, use weather models, observations, and knowledge to make predictions about the weather. So then what is climate? Climate refers to the generally prevailing weather conditions of a particular region throughout the year, averaged over a series of years. It is the big picture of temperatures, rainfall, wind, and other conditions over a longer period of time. We're talking 30 years or more. For example, it might be rainy in Phoenix, the capital of Arizona here in the United States of America, one week. But this city usually only gets about 18 centimeters of rain each year. So the climate for Phoenix is dry. Much of Egypt also has dry desert climate. Some regions of Brazil have a tropical climate, meaning it's warm and rains a lot. Climate can refer to a single city or a region or even a whole planet if we calculate average global temperatures or the average amount of rainfall globally. So, a little tip to help you remember is that climate helps you decide which clothes you need generally for where you live. Looking out the window and seeing the weather helps you decide which of those clothes to wear on that particular day. Today we are going to focus on the first of our 5 programmatic areas, entitled Climate is Life. We will explore how climate relates to food, health, biodiversity, and fun. Starting with climate and food, a sandwich or a bowl of cereal might seem like a simple meal or snack, but when you think about it, a lot goes into producing those ingredients. One of those factors is a supportive climate to grow crops and raise livestock. For instance, if the climate is too dry, certain crops could not get the amount of water they need, and it is impossible to grow them. Farmers around the world earn a living from their crops and their livestock. This process is dependent upon their strong understanding of the local climate and natural environment, so any unexpected changes can have serious effects on their business and livelihoods. Moving on to climate and health, our health also depends on the kind of climate we live in. Certain diseases such as malaria and dengue fever, which are transmitted by mosquitoes, spread much more easily in warm, humid, and rainy climates. People can also suffer from heat strokes and dehydration in very hot climates. As we will see in later chapters, climate change can have a major effect on people's health. For example, climate change can contribute to an increase in extreme weather events such as hurricanes, floods, and droughts that are usually harmful to us and other organisms that live around us. Next, we are going to examine climate and biodiversity. Biodiversity refers to the variety of animals, plants, microorganisms, and ecosystems on Earth. Did you know that many animals and plants have adapted and evolved over time to survive in the climate where they live? Camels, for example, can go a week or more without water and can last for several months without food, a strength that comes in pretty handy in the barren desert. Some lizards have extra thick skin that prevents them drying out in the hot desert sun. At the other temperature extreme, there are certain species, such as frogs, that can partially freeze during the winter to survive. They actually turn solid. They can then thaw back to life in the spring. Talk about a cool way to escape the cold. However, these types of adaptations occur as climate changed slowly over long periods of time in the history of the Earth. Now, human activities are contributing to more rapid changes in climate change that may not allow species to adapt and may lead to extinctions, especially if they are already weakened by other threats such as habitat destruction and pollution. Finally, climate and fun. Climate plays a big role in our quality of life. If you live in a cold climate, you probably look forward to winter when you can play in the snow with your friends and family. Changes of seasons can also have some special meanings or allow for particular activities. Think about how the climate affects your community and what events or pastimes are linked to the specific climate where you live. So that brings us to our first compulsory activity, which means that it is a must-do. We will be creating a body of learning materials on climate change. You may be thinking, ugh, making learning materials does not sound very fun. Well, your job is to make learning fun by being creative. You can create anything from a traditional pamphlet to a song, a drawing, or even a poem. People learn in many different ways, so you get your creative juices flowing and find a fun way to tell others what climate change is, why it matters, and why it's happening. Then send it to us to share. To To help you get started, let's learn a little bit about climate change with the help of NASA's Earth Minute. Earth has a fever.
Did you know that the Earth's average temperature has risen over 1 degree Fahrenheit in the past century? It might not sound like much, but think about it this way. A 1 degree rise in your body temperature can lead to a fever. 5 degrees can land you in the hospital. So guess what? Our Earth has a fever, and scientists believe Earth's temperature could rise by 3 to 10 degrees this century. Why? For one thing, greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. They raise the temperature by trapping heat. And warmer temperatures means, you guessed it, less snow and ice. As they melt, what's left behind are darker patches of land and water. And guess what dark colors do? Here's a hint. Ever try wearing black clothes to the beach? Not a good idea. Black absorbs more sunlight, thus emits more heat and makes you warmer. Not good for you or the Earth. Here are some other possible symptoms of planetary fever: shrinking glaciers, shifting plant and animal ranges, sea level rise, more intense heat waves, stronger hurricanes. Experiencing any of these symptoms? It's time to seek attention right away. Remember, the planet you save may be your own.
Now that you've completed your first compulsory activity, let's move to activity number 2, or our first elective activity. For this particular activity, you're going to pretend that you are a reporter for a newspaper, magazine, or television. Create an article or news report to tell the world about American farms and our climate. Start by thinking about the kinds of farms we have in the United States. Then investigate how our country's climate affects our farms. Look online for information, or conduct a virtual interview with a local farmer. Get as much information as you can. Be creative. Include photos or drawings, or create your own news set. Then send a copy of your creation to the program team. We look forward to seeing them.